Let's talk about the opposition between Mars and Uranus today. So this opposition brings together some unlikely people, particularly in a romantic relationship, because we can be partnering with somebody that is very different than what we have ever seen ourselves with, and very different from what other people would expect us to be with. But it makes it easy to relate to each other because we feel like there is a typical barrier that is not there to getting to know each other. In most relationships, we go through some formalities. We jump through some hoops. There's certain tests. There's this positioning that happens, and that is not there with this opposition. So if we're dealing with one or two people that typically have a hard time relating to the opposite sex, or are very shy or very awkward, or have some, schizoid types of elements in their personality, if they're Aspergery, this can make it more likely that we will be able to relate to each other in a very comfortable and common way, because it erases a lot of the typical anxieties that are involved in forming a relationship, because we don't have those tests, we don't have those positionings. It's just this feeling of companionship and camaraderie that we don't have to earn. Usually we have to earn that in relationships through that early process of finding out about each other, and the investigation and the preliminaries and all of the Saturn stuff. Those Saturn barriers, those formal barriers, just are not present with any of the aspects between Mars and Uranus, but in particular with this opposition. It's very easy to feel like we're with a friend, we're with an equal. That idea of I'm being judged and the awkwardness that comes from that is not there with the opposition. So it's much more likely that people who are both very different from each other, and at the same time people who maybe never really saw themselves with another person, or didn't think that they could engage in a relationship, they'll find it very easy to actually be with another person or to be with each other. So it is an unlikely pairing, we could say, but it works very well for both people, and very likely will have very different skill sets and life experience that is very complementary rather than divisive between the two of us. It is very sexually attractive as well. We can feel like we are in the presence of someone where we get to have that unfettered, comfortable, not preconsidered sexual expression. It just happens the way it happens. And we don't feel that we have, some kind of judgmental eye or anything to account for, or to explain away. And it can bring together people that have very different lifestyles. A highly educated collegiate, and somebody who's very happy working in the service industry. Somebody that, has lived overseas all their life, and somebody who's never really been interested in traveling. These different points of view that come from different lives, exposing us to different things, they actually work with the opposition. We don't find that our life experience is a hindrance or is holding the other person back. It's contributing to each other's lives, whatever that experience is. We often see this in platonic relationships, friendships that form very, very quickly between people who usually feel like they have a hard time making friends or being able to trust friends. It can just make it easy to feel like, hey, I found somebody that really works for me, and we don't think about it too much. There's not the typical anxieties of worrying about what we're thought of, or Do we have similar social positions? Because we may not. We may have very different status when we come together with an opposition like this. But again, that doesn't make either one of us feel put off or like there's any anxiety involved in making the grade or having the other person think of us in any particular way. So it can be very, very good. I hope that was helpful. If you did enjoy it, please like my video and subscribe to my channel. You can find me on Patreon if you're interested in more content, full-length course videos, lives, access to my new farm and garden blog. That will not be available to the public, and that is upcoming. So find me over there if you're interested in more content, and I'll be back super soon with more videos. Bye-bye.